Go hide. They're going to find you.
This time on Unexplained Mysteries, Taken, the Abduction Phenomenon. Men and women who claim they have been taken by aliens.
The next thing I remembered was seeing the beam coming right towards the back of the canoe.
You'll hear stories of bizarre experiments performed on unwilling human subjects.
They put a metal rod to my tailbone. I had something shoved up my nose.
Witness their moments of anguish, relived through hypnotic regression.
Coming towards us. I don't know what it's going to do. It makes me feel like I'm flying apart.
Without case studies, you'll hear the stories of people whose lives have been forever changed.
All of a sudden, I feel like my whole body is on fire. Every inch of my skin's burning. And I realize I couldn't move.
The researcher who thinks he's discovered an alien agenda.
There's a very great interest on the part of the UFO occupants in human reproduction.
They do need our genes to propagate their own species.
The abductee who claims he's been forced to breed with his captors.
I was with an alien that wasn't totally at will. It's hard to explain.
The survivors who struggle to cope with the aftermath of their ordeals.
I know how crazy it sounds for a woman to say she's been implanted with an alien fetus, but I'm sorry, it's the truth.
The experts who believe the shocking accounts.
These people have been traumatized by a very real and present experience in their lives.
And the skeptics who say it's all a figment of the imagination.
They can't tell the difference between whether it was a memory or a real event.
And you'll see our final analysis of all the evidence in our UNX report as we uncover the facts about alien contacts on Unexplained Mysteries, Taken, the Abduction Phenomenon. Over the past 3 decades, the number of reported alien abductions has skyrocketed. Men and women claim to have been taken by extraterrestrials and transported on beams of light into spacecraft. In order to unlock these incredible stories, experts have experimented with regressive hypnotherapy.
Over and over again, we get these hidden consistencies in abduction reports which come out through hypnosis.
These individuals report this experience as real. It is not dream, it is not fantasy, it is not delusion.
Abductee accounts revealed under hypnosis are shocking in their consistency.
And this is when I saw the spotlight then was doing this like a beam.
Once the beam of light hit me, I was paralyzed.
And at that moment, that's when I was on the craft.
They were about 3 feet tall.
Maybe this high.
Their skin looked like it was made of marshmallow.
White, pale color.
And they had real big eyes.
Large, dark eyes.
While most abductees speak of being taken by the often described gray alien depicted here, others report insect-like characteristics in some of their captors.
There's one being in particular that I always recognize, and he's not a gray. He's taller, he's thinner, he's got a bigger head, he's got bigger eyes. His limbs are very praying mantis-like.
There have even been sightings of extraterrestrials that seem to be alien-human hybrids. According to experts, one of the most telling signs of abduction is a gap of hours or days that cannot be accounted for.
This missing time aspect is very, very common in abduction experiences, where the person cannot remember where he or she was.
One possible reason for the lost time, alien testing. With uncanny similarity, nearly all report being subjected to insidious medical experiments.
The person will describe being on a table, which is generally metallic. They are unable to move. They describe operations which take place.
The next thing I remember, they have this
thing in front of my eye, like a metal instrument that was kind of like shaped like an L, and stuck it. It went all the way back down to here, though, in my throat.
Abductees point to the scars they retain from their encounters as proof of the experience. Connie Smith thought she had merely dreamed of a violent UFO encounter.
I just woke up in the morning and I did have that groggy feeling that, you know, that like I've been up all night, yet I got 8 hours sleep. And I sat down on the couch and I looked down and I had a mark just above my knee, and there was no pain to it. You could poke and poke at it and there was no pain. And then I had a little scab in my belly button with a little pinhole puncture mark in the middle.
Her suspicions deepened when her daughter reported a similar experience.
She had the same huge bruise, which was not painful to her. And I asked if I could see her belly button, and I checked, and she had the same thing as I did.
Jesse Long says he has been abducted repeatedly since his first close encounter at the age of 4. After being subjected to a battery of experiments, he was returned home with a similar telltale scar.
My mother remembers me pointing out that I had a scar on my leg. She said it never bled.
Under the skin, Jesse detected a solid object.
It was in my leg for 34 years, and I finally decided to have it removed. And this is what they took out.
Tests on the object determined its composition to be silicone and trace metals. Jesse believes it is a tracking device. Brian Koski also says he is the victim of multiple abductions.
There was this big black triangle, just moving real slow across the sky, and kind of followed over, watched it, and got to about here, kind of stopped, pivoted a little bit, made a hissing sound, and then kind of continued on to the north real slow, and just kept watching it.
He says that he was permitted to move about the ship.
Have these little silver panels that they tend to control the ship with their mind. This is the tail they seem to do their navigation from.
Are these accounts merely fantasies, or are they evidence of a staggering development which will alter the course of mankind? Coming up on Unexplained Mysteries, do these twins share an experience so frightening that it proves they have been taken by aliens?
The next thing I remembered was they turned me over, and then they were doing some type of anal exam.
And can their story pass the lie detector test?
There's absolutely, positively no doubt in my mind that they are being absolutely honest with me.
And later, are UFOs snatching humans as part of a chilling plan that could alter our future?
I felt as if somebody had taken my insides and just ripped me open inside, and I could feel something pulling out of me.
Could alien crossbreeding be behind these close encounters?
I had a very vivid experience of having a fetus put into my body and removed.
Or are there other earthly explanations?
It comes from fairy tales, science fiction, film, a lot of sources.
And we'll give you our final analysis with our Onyx report. Stay tuned for more on Unexplained Mysteries. Unexplained Mysteries, Taken, the Abduction Phenomenon. One individual story about being taken may be hard to believe. But what about mass abductions? Groups of people all seized at once, recalling the same chilling event.
A beam is coming towards us. I don't know what it's going to do. It makes me feel like I'm flying apart.
Maine's Allagash River is the site of an encounter that forever altered the lives of 4 men.
We were just a couple of guys camping, fishing, and we were excited about getting out of the city and being in the wilderness.
Art students Charlie Folse, Chuck Rack, and twins Jim and Jack Weiner were looking for a break from the city when they set out for the backwoods of Maine.
The last thing on our minds was any UFOs or anything like that. We just wanted to go fishing. It was very, very dark. So we decided to build a fire so we could find our way back to our campsite. And all 4 of us climbed in one canoe with our fishing equipment and headed out into the lake. We were out there for approximately 15 or 20 minutes fishing with no luck. And suddenly Chuck Rack said, "Hey guys, that's a heck of a case of swamp gas." And we turned around and
I was with an alien that wasn't totally at will. It's hard to explain.
The survivors who struggled to cope with the aftermath of their ordeals.
I know how crazy it sounds for a woman to say she's been implanted with an alien fetus, but I'm sorry, it's the truth.
The expert.
My skin's burning. And I realized I couldn't move.
The researcher who thinks he's discovered an alien agenda.
There's a very great interest on the part of the UFO occupants in human reproduction.
They do need our genes to propagate their own species.
The abductee who claims he's been forced to breed with his captors. You'll hear stories of bizarre experiments performed on unwilling human subjects.
They put a metal rod to my tailbone. I had something shoved up my nose.
Witness their moments of anguish, relived through hypnotic regression.
Coming towards us, I don't know what it's going to do. Go hide, they're going to find you.
This time on Unexplained Mysteries, Taken, the Abduction Phenomenon. Men and women who claim they have been taken by aliens.
The next thing I remembered was seeing the beam coming right towards the back of the canoe. It makes me feel like I'm flying apart.
With our case studies, you'll hear the stories of people whose lives have been forever changed.
All of a sudden, I feel like my whole body is on fire. Every inch